Welcome to the Simpsons Weakest Link. Any of the 9 people in the studio here today could win up to £10,000. They don't know each other, however, if they want the prize money, they'll have to work together as a team. But 8 of them will leave the game with nothing, as round by round we'll lose the player voted the weakest link. Let's now meet the team.
I'm Shelley, I'm 26, and I'm an artist from Great Portland Street in England.
I'm CJ, I'm 32, and I'm a police officer from New York in America.
I'm Seamus, I'm 34, and I'm a construction worker from London in England.
I'm Stacy, I'm 21, and I'm a student from White City in England.
I'm Vicky, I'm 47, and I'm a fashion designer from Canberra in Australia.
I'm Jenson, I'm 65, and I'm a scientist from Barcelona in Spain.
I'm Jolene, I'm 39, and I'm a firefighter from Ghaziabad in India.
I'm Henry, I'm 53, and I'm a businessman from Washington in America.
I'm Simon, I'm 28, and I'm a filmer and editor from Newcastle in Australia.
Now the rules. In each round, the aim is to answer enough questions correctly to reach your £1,000 target within the time limit. The fastest way is to create a chain of 9 correct answers. If you say pass or get your question wrong, you'll break the chain and lose all that money. But if you say the word bank before the next question is asked, the money is safe. However, you'll start a new chain from scratch, as ever. The first question is worth £20. Remember team, at the end of the round, only money that has been banked can be taken forward. In round 1, there are 3 minutes on the clock. We'll start with the person whose name is in first alphabetical order. And that's you, CJ. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. CJ. Who is the youngest member of the Simpsons family?
Maggie.
Correct. Seamus. Who is the mother of the Simpsons family?
Marge.
Correct. Stacy. Who is the only son of the Simpsons family?
Bart.
Correct. Vicky. Where do the Simpsons live? Hollyoaks, Springfield, or Summer Bay?
Springfield.
Correct. Jensen. How many children do Homer and Marge have?
3.
Correct. Jolene. Who is the father of the Simpsons family?
Homer.
Correct. Henry. What school does Bart attend?
Springfield Elementary School.
Correct. Simon. What is Homer's favorite drink? Cola, beer, wine, or tea?
Beer.
Correct. Shelley. Edna Crabapple is known as what? The school teacher, the priest, the store owner, or the police officer?
The school teacher.
Correct. CJ.
Bank.
Okay, you've reached and banked your £1,000 target. That money will go through to the next round, but one of you will not. Think carefully. Who's worrying you? Who is about to go on the dim side? Who do you think should be abandoned from the team? One of you is about to leave with nothing. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
In this impressive first round, CJ is the strongest link, who banked the £1,000 for the team. Despite not getting a question wrong, the weakest link is Seamus. However, will the team be aware of this at this early stage of the game?
Okay, voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Stacy.
Jolene.
Jensen.
Henry.
CJ.
Vicky.
Shelley.
Simon.
Seamus.
Well, we have an interesting 9-way tie. Everybody has got 1 vote each. Vicky, remind me what you do.
I'm a fashion designer.
And what clothes do you design?
All kinds, such as tops, trousers, skirts, dresses, shoes, hats, and handbags.
Wait. Handbags?
Well, I know they're not exactly garments or even outfits, but I'm pretty sure they're part of fashion as well.
I see. And what else do you do, based on the job?
Well, I do a variety of annotations and sketches. I take the knowledge of my past fashion studies. I do samples and fittings. I communicate with my colleagues about what we do to improve our garments. And I'm one of the exhibitors who sell our outfits at trade shows.
How ambitious. Now then, why do you want to get rid of the police officer, who had the decency to bank all the money for the team?
Because I wish I was the one who got started first.
Oh, so you're jealous now, are you?
What makes you say that?
Well, as I said at the beginning, we start with someone in alphabetical order, not at random. That's why I start with CJ. Your name, on the other hand, is in last alphabetical order. Now does it make sense?
Now that you mentioned it, I should have thought before I vote. This ain't my day today.
Okay, so Jensen, who comes from Spain, and is still a scientist, even at the age of 65. Right?
Yes. That's right.
Right. And how long have you been a scientist?
If you want English numbers like answer 3 about the number of American married children, I've been a scientist for 39 years since I was 26 years old.
Wow, 39 years. And, as you're on the mid-60s, how long more are you going to continue this job, until you retire?
I'm still doing my science job for 7 more years, so I will retire at the age of 72.
I see. Good luck with that. And, what scientific things do you do?
Well, I make observations on any moving and non-moving objects, such as looking at them, touching them, listening to them, smelling them, and even testing them by any chance.
I'd be careful of the taste if I were you. Now then, why do you want to get rid of the fashion designer?
Because she was very hesitant, and she is trying to bump off the strongest link, so I thought of teaching her a lesson never to mess with the best players.
That makes you a helpful team player, I suppose. However, when the vote is tied, the strongest link gets to cast the deciding vote. The strongest link in that round was CJ. Now CJ, you voted for Jolene, but you now have a choice. Obviously you can't vote for yourself, so that narrows down to 8 choices out of the 9-way tie. You can either stick with Jolene or change your mind and choose one of the other 7 people. Who do you want to send home with nothing?
I'm going to stop the tactics and change my mind. I'm going to change my vote to Vicky.
Why?
Because I completely agree with Jensen. Vicky was the only person who is trying to get rid of me when I banked the jackpot for the team, and she is being such a jealous coward, so it's time for her to go, and it's payback time.
That's fair enough. Let me point out though, that Seamus gained the least money for the team, making him the weakest link. Well done to Simon for noting that. However, it's votes that count. Vicky, who tried to get rid of the strongest link, and failed miserably. With 2 votes, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I'm so outraged that CJ voted me off just because I voted for him when he was the strongest link. That doesn't make me the weakest link in that round. Get over it. I don't care how long he will last, because he doesn't deserve the prize money at all. Neither does Jensen, because he voted for me first, and I couldn't even understand his Spanish accent.
Round 2. You've reached your target in the last round, so you have £1,000. There are 8 of you left. And, Jensen has managed to eliminate the naughty fashion designer from the center of the semicircle, who tried to get rid of the strongest link. We are now taking 10 seconds off your time. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round, and that's CJ. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. CJ. Who is the eldest daughter of the Simpsons family? Maggie or Lisa?
Lisa.
Correct. Seamus. What musical instrument does Lisa play, especially in the opening credits?
Saxophone.
Correct. Stacy. Out of the 3 Simpsons children, who is the oldest? Bart, Lisa, or Maggie?
Bart.
Correct. Jensen. What is Grandpa Simpson's first name? Al, Apu, or Abraham?
Abraham.
Correct. Jolene. Does Bart like making any prank phone calls?
Yes.
Correct. Henry. Does Homer work in a fast food restaurant?
No.
Correct. Simon.
Bank.
What is Milhouse's relationship to Bart? His teacher, his friend, or his cousin?
His friend.
Correct. Shelley. Which member of the Simpsons family lives in the Springfield retirement castle?
Grandpa Abraham Simpson.
Correct. CJ. What is the surname of the Simpsons' neighbors?
Flanders.
Correct. Seamus. What is Homer's favorite sweet snack? Donuts, muffins, chocolate, or biscuits?
Donuts.
Correct. Stacy. Who is the owner of the tavern bar? Curly, Ned Flanders, Mo Sislak, or Sideshow Bob?
Mo Sislak.
Correct. Jensen. Whilst Lisa is in school, how is her knowledge? Excellent, average, or poor?
Excellent.
Correct. Jolene.
Bank.
What is the name of the Simpsons' first black cat who was fatally ran over?
Is it Snowbell?
Nope, it's not Snowbell, it's Snowball, Henry, who filled groundskeeper Willie's house with green corn.
Milhouse?
Nope, it's Bart. Simon. What type of creature is Poochie, who was well known as the TV star?
He's a dog.
Correct. Shelley. Which famous soul singer appeared on one episode of The Simpsons? James Brown, Otis Redding, or Aretha Franklin?
James Brown.
Correct. CJ. Did Homer work at Mr. Burns's building sites?
No.
Correct. Seamus.
Bank.
Okay, you did it again. You've reached your £1,000 target. And again, that money will go through to the next round, but of course, one of you will not. What took you all so long? You actually had a chain of 12 correct answers, so you could have reached your target earlier like last time. Some of you answered questions incorrectly. Who has also been banking far too soon? One of you is about to leave with nothing. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
In another impressive round, CJ is again the strongest link, as he answered the most questions correctly. Henry is the weakest link statistically, whilst Jolene and Simon banked the most money for the team equally. But, will this be spotted by the team?
Okay, voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Jolene.
Henry.
Henry.
Jolene.
Jolene.
Henry.
Jolene.
Henry.
Well, we have another tie team. Jolene and Henry have 4 votes each. Jolene, who works as a firefighter. Do you realize that you and Simon banked a bit early?
Yes, Derek, but with £450 up for grabs, we didn't want to risk it with a potentially wrong answer, because I thought the questions get a bit harder when there's more rounds to come. So that's why me and Simon banked when we did.
I understand. Now then, why did you vote for Henry?
Because I thought he was weaker than me, as we both got one question wrong.
Right. So Henry, who works as a businessman. What is your job involved?
Well, my job is involved controlling the income.
And how do you make your income work?
Firstly, I start a business. Secondly, after investing myself a salary, I take 10% of that salary and put it into long-term wealth investments. And thirdly, I put 25% of my business profits every year into short-term high-yield low-risk investments.
I see. And how do you get paid?
Well, I generate hundreds or possibly thousands of dollars from my business in the US by releasing dozens of new products, such as electric bikes for example.
Okay, so Henry, why did you vote for Jolene?
Because I thought that she was possibly as bad as me, and I couldn't vote for myself. Also, I didn't really expect any early banking to happen.
Okay. So Seamus, how's that round going for you?
Well, I did better than last time, because I banked the rest of the money for the team.
I see where you're going with this. Remind me what you do for a living.
I'm a construction worker.
And what land do you develop?
I develop London Underground and National Railway services. It depends on when there's new tubes and trains available in service, and when there's new routes and stations built.
Very interesting. So Seamus, why did you vote for Henry?
Well, he was very unlucky as he got one question wrong. Jolene did get one wrong as well, but she banked the £450 as well as Simon did, which makes me think Jolene has done better than Henry.
Well, the strongest link was CJ, so again, he gets to decide. Now CJ, you voted for Henry, but you now have a choice. Would you like to stick with Henry, or move to Jolene?
I'm going to stick with Henry.
Why?
Because Jolene banked £450 as well as Simon did, which makes me believe Henry was the most weakest player in this round.
Well, he was indeed the worst player. Henry, it looks like Jolene's banking performance is absolutely enough to save her from you, and your position here is no longer secure. So with 4 votes, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I can't believe that Jolene and Simon got away with this. I don't even get why there's starting to be earlier banking going on in this second round. Well, fair enough, they didn't want to risk it, I suppose, but I wish Jolene would have continued the chain with the correct answer, so I could bank the last £600 for the team. But it obviously didn't work out this way. I think she really needs to go off next.
Round 3. You've reached your target for the second time, so you now have £2,000. There are 7 of you left. And you've lost Henry, whose luck has ran out. But you still have Jolene, who was one of the people who banked £450. We're having another 10 seconds off the time. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round, and that's CJ again. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. CJ. Bart makes a deal with God to get his school closed on the day of which test? History, geography, or maths?
History.
Correct. Seamus. What game does the Stonecutters Secret Society play to celebrate Homer joining them? Frisbee, Trivial Pursuit, or ping pong?
Ping pong.
Correct. Stacy.
Bank.
Who is the 4th grade class president? Bart, Lisa, Martin Prince, or Milhouse?
Martin Prince.
Correct. Jensen, who runs a fake jeans business of the Simpsons garage? Herman, Mo Sislak, or Ned Flanders?
Ned Flanders.
Nope, it's Herman. Jolene. The capital city goofball is a mascot for the team playing which sport?
Baseball.
Bart, correct. Simon, which family has been given $15,000 by people of Springfield on Christmas Day?
The Simpsons.
Correct. Shelley, Homer buys 1,000 springs to turn into merchandise to sell at what event?
The Olympics.
Correct, CJ, who starts dating a forgotten actress in the episode, The Ace Star Born.
Ned Flanders.
Correct. Seamus, Homer and Bart's model rocket burns down which building of Springfield?
The church.
Correct. Stacy, after seeing the Daredevil show, what land does Bart try to jump on his skateboard?
The Springfield Gorge.
Correct. Jensen,
Bank.
who steals 100 pounds of sugar from the crashed lorry and tries to sell it?
Homer.
Correct. Jolene, at the end of the episode, Lisa the Simpson, who turns his store into a strip club. What does he call it?
The Nudie Mart.
Correct. Simon, Jebediah is the first name of what?
The founder of
Homer's
Springfield.
dad. Least correct. Shelley, what is the name of the poor part of Springfield where Bart encounters Chester Lampic? Transville, No Hope Central, or Bumtown?
Is it Bumtown?
Correct. CJ,
Bank.
the Springfield investorettes sell what food to battle with Marge's pretzel business?
Is it hot dogs?
Nope, it's falafels. Seamus, what is the name of Homer's pet lobster?
Snappy. No, I mean Pinchy.
No, I have to accept your first answer. It's Pinchy. Stacy, who sometimes carries a card which reads, always do the opposite of what Bart says.
Homer.
Bank.
Time's up. Homer was the correct answer, and your bank was in time. And you've managed to win £720. However, at one point, you had a chain of 10 correct answers, so you could have reached your target for the third time. Who's about to get some stick? Whose brain waves don't reach the beach? One of you is about to leave with nothing. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
In that round, Stacy is the strongest link this time. With one correct answer, the weakest link statistically is Jensen. However, he banked the most money for the team. Will this ever be enough to get him through to the next round?
Okay, voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Seamus.
Jensen.
CJ.
CJ.
Seamus.
Jensen.
Jensen.
CJ, how long have you been a police officer, and what rank are you?
I've been a police officer for 5 years, and I'm a constable.
Are you on the beat?
Yep, I'm a community police officer.
Wow, easy peasy.
Ha 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 ha.
Lots of cups of tea.
That's even more funnier. Ha 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 ha. But to be honest, Derek, I wouldn't say any of those to my police friends.
Okay. So, why have you voted for Jensen the Spanish scientist?
Well, I felt he answered one less question correctly than me and Seamus. However, I know he banked a lot of money, which comes up very handy.
Right. So Jolene, how long have you been a firefighter?
I've been a firefighter for over 10 years.
And, which part of India do you come from?
I come from Ghaziabad.
That's nice. Now then, why did you vote for Jensen?
Because he didn't have a chance to answer one more question correctly like CJ and Seamus did. But I was well aware he banked the most.
I see. So Simon, remind me what you do for a living.
I'm a filmer and editor.
That's interesting. And, what films do you make with your crew?
I make short films with my crew. And if you want to know what genre I do, I make romance films, action films, adventurous films, and even horror films.
Wow, you make a lot of ideas I suppose. And, how do you edit all your footage?
Well, I use a video editing program called Adobe Premiere Pro. And let's say, for example, I crop videos to make them shorter, I add some text if necessary, I control the volume of each footage to turn it up or down, and I even put video transitions when changing the footage. And when the whole project is fully finished, I export them as MP4, depending on how long or short the size is.
Very impressive. So Simon, why Jensen?
Well, although he banked the most money for us, he unfortunately got one less question correct than CJ and Seamus, so I thought Jensen was the weakest link.
He was. Jensen, statistically, you were the worst player, and with 3 votes, the team have voted you the weakest link. Goodbye.
I don't understand why my banking performance didn't save me. I mean, there were some other people who got questions wrong as well, not only me. My takes all the back and that into account to enter the voting, and it's very annoying that somebody else will go off with the prize money.
Round 4. In the bank you have £2,720 out of a possible 3,000. 6 players are left. Another 10 seconds are coming off the time. You now have only 2.5 minutes. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round, and that's Stacy. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Stacy, is Edna Crabapple single, divorced, or married?
Divorced.
Correct. Jolene, what is Bart's 3-word catchphrase which involves consuming a clothing item?
Eat my shorts.
Correct. Simon,
Bank.
who has lost an arm when sticking it out the bus window?
Herman.
Correct. Shelley, which member of the Simpsons family was photographed in the woods and mistaken for Bigfoot?
Homer.
Correct. CJ, which of Lisa's classmates has a crush on her?
Ralph Wiggum.
Correct. Seamus, the Dancing Homer t-shirts go on sale at the baseball stadium for how much?
Under $25 each.
Correct. Stacy,
Bank.
in which festive day did Bart run away and get interviewed by the TV crew?
Thanksgiving.
Correct. Jolene, what type of character is Gabbo?
Is it a clown?
Nope, it's a ventriloquist doll. Simon, who filmed Gabbo being rude about his audience to help Krusty the Clown return on TV?
Bart.
Correct. Shelley,
Bank.
what is the bowling instructor's first French name at the Bowler Armor?
Jacques.
I'll accept. CJ, which character has decided to have the wedding on the trampoline?
Lisa.
Lisa. Correct. Seamus, Aerosmith and the Red Hot Chili Peppers have played in which Springfield venue?
Mez Tavern.
Correct. Stacy, Bart loses the soapbox race to which character?
Martin
Milhouse.
Gross.
Mark. Correct. Jolene.
Pass. No bank. Bank.
Nope, you said pass first.
Oh,
I
for
have to
God's
go
sake.
with your first instruction. No! Simon, Marge nearly has an affair with an instructor in which sport?
Bowling.
Correct. Shelley, Homer navigates the craft carrying him and Bart to the oil rig using the smell of what on a cob as a
Burger.
guide? Correct. CJ,
Bank.
which member of the Simpsons family is the first to realize the identity of the Springfield cat burglar?
Abraham.
Correct. Seamus,
Bank.
what does Homer give up when the Simpsons make sacrifices to pay hospital fees for their dog?
Pass.
Drinking beer. Stacy, what is the name of Apu's brother?
Sanjay.
Sanjay. Correct.
Bank.
Time's up. Your bank was just in time. And, it looks like your performance has been slashed in half. You've banked a very mediocre £360. No wonder why you got rid of Jensen, who banked a lot of money for you. Who keeps holding you back? Who is losing you money? Who is preventing you from becoming rich? One of you is about to leave with nothing. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
With 4 questions correct and £200 banked, Stacy is the strongest link again. Having lost the team the most money, Jolene is statistically the weakest link. But, will the other players consider that when casting their votes?
Okay, voting over. It's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Jolene.
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 Seamus.
Jolene.
Seamus, who develops National Railway Services and London Underground. So you weren't aware of Homer giving up drinking beer when the rest of his family were paying hospital fees for their dog then?
Well, I thought it was about giving up something else, and I remember he still drinks beer in the next episodes. These are the reasons why I passed on that question.
That's also probably why Jolene voted for you. And why do you want to get rid of her?
Because she made us lose a lot of money when she said pass instead of bank. If she hasn't have done that, we would have won £560.
Right. So Shelley, who comes from a British commercial street called Great Portland Street, what do you do for a living?
I'm an artist.
That sounds like you made yourself a creative idea. What is your art job involved?
I do sketches, colorings, paintings, and digital art.
And what do you make with all your traditional and digital art?
My specialty is making portraits and posters.
Do you make portraits and posters of yourself? Or is it something else?
No, it's something else. I do portraits and posters of sea creatures.
That sounds nice. What's your favorite sea creature?
Well, my favorite sea creature is dolphins because I like hearing the sounds of them laughing.
I see. Can you make any sounds of the dolphins laughing?
Sure, here's one for example.
Wow, I bet you could also be a voice artist, I believe. Now then, why did you vote for Jolene?
Because she got one of her questions wrong, and passed on another one which cost her so much money. It was very unforgivable, so it's time for her to get her wish.
Okay. So Stacy, who also comes from England, which college do you go to?
I go to White City Imperial College.
And what course are you studying?
I'm studying performing arts.
That's interesting. So you're into acting as part of your future, right?
Yes, being an actor is part of my dream. I share a variety of ideas with my team of what my story would be about. Whether it's musical, drama, or even comedy.
That's a great plan. Good luck with your performance. So Stacy, why Jolene?
Because she passed on her question too soon and lost us a lot of money I passed to her. I thought she was going to bank it, but now it's too late.
Indeed it is. Jolene, with 5 votes, unanimously, you have been voted the weakest link. Goodbye.
I can't believe I lost a lot of money by saying pass instead of bank in this round, and the team had the right to get rid of me because of that. However, I hope Seamus gets voted off next, because he made mistakes on a couple of easy questions, and the team would definitely get sick of him.
Round 5. And you're up to £3,080 so far out of a possible 4,000. You're down to 5 players. And Simon is now standing all on his own. We're cutting another 10 seconds from the time. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round, and again, that's Stacy. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Stacy, what is the nickname given to the criminal, Miss Potts?
Pass.
The babysitter bandit. Simon, what number is Homer when he first joined the Stonecutters? 98, or 908?
908.
Correct. Shelley, in the first part of Who Shot Mr. Burns, which resident has struck oil when digging a grave for a dead pet?
Groundskeeper Willie.
Correct. CJ. Maggie calls the police when the rest of her family gets into a fight whilst playing which board game?
Monopoly.
Correct. Seamus.
Bank.
Where does Mr. Burns finally get the Loch Ness Monster a job?
Pass.
It's at Las Vegas Casino. Stacy, who enters the Simpsons home whilst carrying a shotgun to put off the singing?
Snake.
Correct. Simon, where did the Simpsons car get damaged at?
The Springfield
The
Speedway.
Correct. Shelley, what did Bart add to sabotage Alison Taylor's model?
Is it the cow's hut?
Correct. CJ,
Bank.
which one of Marge's sisters have no sense of taste or smell?
Selma.
Correct. Seamus,
Bank.
what plan did Sideshow Bob make to kill his new wife?
Pass.
It's the gas explosion. Stacy, other than Homer and Sideshow Mel, who else appeared on the Springfield Squares
Ron
TV
Howard.
game show? Correct. Simon, does Sherry Bobbins appear at the Simpsons house by floating down by an umbrella?
Yes.
Correct. Shelley, who opposes the gambling in Springfield to only become addicted to slot machines? Marge, Lisa, or Edna Krabappel?
Marge.
Correct. CJ, what hardware does Homer use to fasten Maggie's nappy whilst Marge is away?
The stapling gun.
Correct. Seamus,
Bank.
Bart rearranges the words cod platter to make what words?
Cold pet rag.
Correct. Stacy, what food of Homer's clogs the controls of Space Shuttle nearly causes a disaster?
Potato chips.
Correct. Simon,
Bank.
Cirque du pureed. Time's up. I can't complete the question. And, you've done slightly better in this round. You've won £470. Who needs to be retired? Whose time has come to an end? Who's so dumb, they'd sit on the TV and watch the couch? One of you is about to leave with nothing. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
For the third time in the game, CJ is the strongest link statistically. With the most questions wrong, Seamus is the weakest link for the second time, although he banked the most money for the team. But, will it be enough to save him twice in the game?
Okay, voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Seamus.
Seamus.
Stacy.
Shelley.
Seamus.
Shelley, why did you vote for Seamus?
Because he got 2 questions wrong, and he was cracking under a lot of pressure.
Right. So CJ, the American police officer, why Seamus?
Well, I really hate to see him go, but I had no other choice, because he turned his tables in that round from banking a lot of money to getting a few questions wrong.
Okay. Well Seamus, it looks like it's all over for you. With 3 votes, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I feel absolutely gutted about being voted off. I thought I would get away with it again. I got away with it once after being the first weakest link, but not twice. I think CJ might make it to the final and possibly win the money, because he seemed to be the strongest player overall, and he did extremely well with raising the bank balance in almost every round.
Round 6. And there's £3,550 in the bank so far. If you've been wide awake and on your toes, this could have been 5,000. There are 4 players left. We're taking another 10 seconds off the time. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round, and that's CJ. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. CJ. Bart's history test was marked up from F to what improving grade?
C?
Nope, it's D. Stacy, what is the name of the crime-fighting talking speedboat found on TV in The Simpsons?
Nightboat.
Correct. Simon, what is the name of the Springfield's police chief?
Chief Wiggin.
Correct. Shelley, a sprout of oil from Mr. Burns' oil injured which character? Homer, Lisa, Milhouse, or Santa's little helper?
Santa's little helper.
Correct. CJ, Homer is offered a job by the owner of Springfield Isotopes as what?
A mascot.
Correct. Stacy, was Snake once a cellmate of Sideshow Bob?
Yes.
Correct. Simon,
Bank.
who proposes an Olympic mascot Siggy made up of ashtrays and cigarettes?
Patty and Selma.
Correct. Shelley, Homer married his second wife in which city? Las Vegas, Paris, or New York?
Las Vegas.
Correct. CJ, on which vehicle does Homer attempt to jump the Springfield Gorge?
Is it on Bart's skateboard?
Correct. Stacy, which character of the Itchy and Scratchy show always ends up dead in every show?
Scratchy the cat.
Correct. Simon,
Bank.
Bart sneaks into the cinema with Jimbo Jones to see what movie?
Is it Space Mutants 4?
Correct. Shelley, how many babies do Apu and his wife have?
8.
Correct. CJ, whose hair falls out prompting the Simpsons to employ the nanny, Sherry Bobbins?
Is it Lisa's hair?
Nope, it's Marge's hair.
No!
Stacy, what words or phrases does Homer not usually say?
I caramba.
Correct. Simon,
Bank.
who buys a trampoline and makes money by charging the local kids $1 a turn? Correct. Shelley, Bart whistles what TV show theme tune would annoys Marge?
Pass.
No!
Time's up. The correct answer is The Simpsons theme. And, you're getting better by the minute, you've won £520. You actually had a chain of 11 correct answers, so you could have reached your target. Now consider this. Does CJ need a break from the police force? Is Simon missing out on the filming deadlines? Does Shelley need to boost more with her pace? Or maybe Stacy needs more practice with her acting skills? One of you is about to leave with nothing. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
Simon is now the strongest link, as he got all his questions correct, and banked the team any money. In a dramatic loss of form, the weakest link is now CJ, having answered a few questions incorrectly. But, will his previous performance save him from the vote?
Okay, voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
CJ.
Shelley.
CJ.
CJ.
Stacy, you thought CJ was the weakest link, did you?
Well, he's done strongly up to this point. He got 2 questions wrong, and even left me with nothing to bank. I didn't want to vote for Simon, because he was the only one who banked any money.
I see. Simon, you done extremely well with your banking, and you got all your questions correct in the whole game, and that's the first time you've been the strongest link.
Thanks Derek, The Simpsons TV show is one of my favorite hobbies.
And, did you also say you come from Newcastle in Australia?
Yes, that's correct. Newcastle is located in Australia as well as in the UK.
Okay. So, why did you vote for CJ?
Well, he was a bit nervous in this round, and he got 2 questions wrong.
Right. And Shelley, why CJ?
I know he had a few strong rounds before, but I felt he had a bad round this time. He got 2 questions wrong, and lost a bit more money than I did. I thought I was going to get my last question correct, which would lead CJ to bank, but it didn't work out for me.
Well, he's been the best player up to this point, hasn't he?
Yes, I agree entirely, but now he went from hero to zero.
Okay. CJ, with 3 votes, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I can't believe my previous success was not enough to save me. That is not fair. I've been the strongest Link 3 times in the game, but now I blew it with my rubbish performance. I think Shelly will be the last person to be voted off, because Stacy and Simon are so strong.
Round 7. And, out of a possible £6,000 you could have won by now, you have only 4,070. There are 3 of you left. You voted off the best player who has lost his memory at the end, so we still have Shelley the artist, Stacy the student, and Simon the filmer and editor. We're having another 10 seconds off the time. You now have only 2 minutes. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round, and that's Simon. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Simon. Bart receives how many days of detention after admitting to stealing the teacher's school books? 60 or 600?
600.
Correct. Shelley. Bart took the punishment, but who really stole the teacher's textbooks?
Lisa.
Correct. Stacy. At a car show where Homer buys a snowplow, which famous superhero does he see with his vehicle?
Batman.
Correct. Simon.
Bank.
Who rescues Homer after he sets his own house on fire?
Neck Flambers.
Correct. Shelley. Does Scratchy the cat ever kill Itchy the mouse at the end of any show?
Yes.
No. Stacy. Which famous film actor and star of West King provided the voice for the real Principal Seymour Skinner?
Pass.
Martin Sheen. Simon. In Bart to the Future, Bart sees a vision of life 30 years ahead. What is he trying to become?
Pass.
A rock guitarist. Shelley. Who has first won the competition to take a trip on the NASA space shuttle?
Barney Gumble.
Correct. Stacy. Was Mr. Burns' old teddy bear once owned by Adolf Hitler?
No.
Yes. No! Simon. Which famous singer sings at a romantic meal for Homer and Marge at Mr. Burns' mansion?
Tom Jones.
Correct. Shelley. Which doctor often laughs and tells his patients what's wrong with them? Dr. Hibbert or Dr. Nick?
Dr. Hibbert.
Correct. Stacy.
Bank.
What is the name of Springfield's female weather presenter? Stephanie or Samantha?
Is it Samantha?
Nope, it's Stephanie. Simon. For which sport does Lisa become a goalkeeper for the team
Ice
run by a
hockey.
poo? Correct. Shelley. In the Treehouse of Horror episodes, whose face looks like a vampire and is wearing a suit?
Mr. Burns.
Bank.
Time's up. Mr. Burns was the correct answer, and your bank was just in time. And, you've gone completely down the drain. You banked a very disappointing £200. Never mind, because in round 8, you get the chance to treble what you bank, so potentially, there's £3,000 to be won. The question is, who are you going to hang on to? Who are you going to get rid of? Because one of you is about to leave with nothing. Have the courage to vote off the weakest link.
According to the statistics, the strongest link is Simon again. Despite being the strongest link twice in the game, Stacy is now the weakest link, because she gave the most wrong answers. But, can she survive the final vote?
Okay, voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Stacy.
Shelley.
Sorry, but it's Stacy.
Simon, there's no need to apologize.
Well, I wanted to be generous to her, because I was well aware that she banked £100, but I'm afraid it's not enough to save her, because she got a lot of her questions wrong, including the name of the Springfield's female weather presenter.
And, you obviously didn't know that Bart tries to become a rock guitarist when he sees a vision of life 30 years ahead?
To be honest, Derek, no I didn't, and nobody's perfect.
Well, that is absolutely true. So Shelley, why Stacy?
Well, although she banked some money, she got more questions wrong than me and Simon did, as we both only got one question wrong. And I'm brave enough to face Simon in the final, because he's been playing fairly throughout.
Right. Well, statistically, with 1 right and 3 wrong, Stacy was the weakest link. Stacy, I really hate to say this to you, but it's time for you to go back to college, because with 2 votes, the team have decided you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I feel absolutely devastated. I got very close to get my hands on that money and I can smell it. But now it's disappeared. Shelley has got to the final, and I really don't know how. I was actually hoping that Simon could take me on, but I think he took the easy option, and I definitely believe that he'll win the prize money.
Round 8. And you've managed to win £4,270 in the bank. Of course, this could have been 7,000. Shelley and Simon, who are standing on both ends of the semicircle, just the 2 of you left. You now have only 90 seconds in this round, but whatever you win will be trebled and added with the previous winnings to make your final prize money, so there is £3,000 at stake. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round, and that's Simon. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Simon, what is the first name of Miss Box the babysitter bandit? Linda or Lucille?
Lucille.
Correct. Shelley, the members of which TV show set in a bar in the episode Fear of Frying?
Cheers.
Correct. Simon, Cooder and Spud ran what stall at the traveling carnival? Coconut Shy, Ring Toss, or Guess the Weight of the Baby?
Ring toss.
Correct. Shelley, who in Springfield has a pet iguana? Selma, Millhouse, or Chief Wiggum?
Selma.
Correct. Simon, at the end of the first part of Who Shot Mr. Burns, Mr. Burns has been shot on which part of the body?
His chest.
Correct. Shelley,
Bank.
in the episode called They Saved Lisa's Brain, which famous scientist appears to give the Springfield Men's a group a telling off?
Could you repeat the question, please?
In the episode called They Saved Lisa's Brain, which famous scientist appears to give the Springfield Men's a group a telling off?
Pass.
It's Stephen Hawking. Simon, who leaves prison to marry one of Marge's sisters? Sideshow Bob or Sideshow Mel?
Sideshow Bob.
Correct. Shelley, on a hunting trip, Homer, Moe and Barney urge Bart to kill what type of animal? A reindeer or a brown bear?
It's a reindeer.
Correct.
Bank.
Time's up. Your bank was in time, and you've won £350. We'll treble that, and add it to the total winnings from the previous rounds, so this gives you prize money today of £5,320. However, only one of you will take that money home. You will now play against each other, head to head. I'll ask up to 5 alternating questions each. Whoever answers the most questions correctly is the winner. It's as simple as that. If we have a tie after 5, we'll go for sudden death, until we have a winner. So therefore, Shelley and Simon, for £5,320. Let's play the weakest link. Simon, as the strongest link in the last round, you have the choice of who goes first.
I'd like Shelley to go first.
Shelley, Yiddles is a store that sells magic tricks, practical jokes, and which other product?
Medical supplies.
That is the correct answer. Simon, What was the previous name of Santa's little helper, the dog?
Number 8.
That is the correct answer. Shelley, what type of dog did Santa's little helper not race against?
Rex.
That is the correct answer. Simon, who is the owner of Canine College, where Santa's little helper was sent?
Emily Winthrop.
That is the correct answer. Shelley, the children of Springfield start the pirate radio show called We Know All Your Secrets after watching which scary movie?
The Dead Dame?
No, the correct answer is The Bloodening. Simon, what does Homer order at the Itchy and Scratchy Land restaurant?
5 fingers.
No, the correct answer is the eyeball stew. At this current moment, you both have drawn level peg. Shelley, this is to take the lead. What is the name of the old couple who are the Simpsons neighbors?
The Winfields couple.
That is the correct answer. Simon, which character of Springfield drives a Hyundai car and has a son who he keeps in the drawer?
Pass.
The correct answer is Kearney. Shelley, if you answer this question correctly, you have won. So, for £5,320, what is the first name of Chief Wiggum's wife?
Is it Leslie?
No. The correct answer is Sarah. Simon, you need to answer this question correctly to stay in the game. There is £5,320 at stake. What is the name of the co-worker Homer is attracted to and attends a convention with at Capital City?
Mindy Simmons.
That is the correct answer. Well, after 5 questions each, your scores are tied. We now go into a sudden death situation. The questions will continue in pairs. Shelley, if you answer correctly, then Simon will have to answer correctly as well, or he loses. And, if you get your question wrong, and Simon answers correctly, he wins. So, Shelley and Simon, let's play sudden death. Shelley, which inhabitant of Abraham Simpson's rest home turns out to be a cat burglar?
Mr. Molloy.
That is the correct answer. Simon, you need to answer this question correctly to stay in the game. Sophie turns out to be the lost daughter of which Springfield character?
It's Krusty the Clown.
That is the correct answer. Shelley, Homer pledges $10,000 to save his favorite British comedy show. But, what is it called?
Silent Treasure Stack?
No, the correct answer is Do Shut Up. Simon, if you answer this question correctly, you have won. So, for £5,320, what is the name of the health spa where Homer was nearly killed in a steam room?
Summer Emerge Spa.
No, the correct answer is the Stagnant Springs Spa. Shelley, Homer is bet $50 by Bart that cannot eat a whole box of which cooking ingredient?
Pass.
The correct answer is the baking soda. Again, Simon, if you answer this question correctly, then the £5,320 is yours. Which doctor cures Ned Flanders after he checks into a mental institution?
Dr. Foster.
That is the correct answer. That means, Simon, you are today's strongest link, and you go away with £5,320. What are you going to do with the money?
Well, I'm going to spend over £2,000 on renting a studio so I could make full-length movies with my crew. And I might spend nearly £1,500 on a monkey bike called Honda Dex, and I don't know what to do with the rest of the money yet.
Shelley, you leave with nothing. You have been watching The Simpsons Weakest Link. Goodbye.
You know what? Not only that I'm a bit disappointed that I lost, but I'm so delighted that Simon offered me to go first, and fair play to him. And there was no tactics going on throughout the whole game.
This ain't a show about feeling guilty to win, because this is what I came to do. I played the rounds, I answered the questions, I voted fairly, I got to the final with Shelby, and I won the cash.